Every parent has this concern, every generation has this concern that the next generation is going wrong, always. I understand what you're saying. This sudden change, if every generation likes to go one step beyond where the previous generation has stepped in, almost everything, just for the sake of doing something different, or it's natural, they have grown up in one atmosphere, next is not always next. This concern is always there, but right now, the change that is happening is not the next. It is a serious influence because in the last 15 years, the world's ability to communicate across cultures and borders is so heavy and so unprecedented. Nobody has ever been used to this kind of influences before, never before. This level of influence on our young people, never before possible, no other generation has ever experienced this kind of onslaught from so many directions, and the volume of influence is too big. So, in terms of changes that are happening, it is not next, it is simply somewhere and nobody knows where it is because it's too complex and too mixed. Nobody knows where it is, including the young people, it's just a mix of things. So this is because of a sudden onslaught of information and communication. It is not for us to judge whether it's good or bad, it is just that definitely this level of information. When I say information, it's like when we were growing up, I believe it was true for your generation also, we never knew what is boredom, okay? There was no such thing, we were just excited about everything that came our way. But you see today 12-year-old kids, if you tell them what,
Yes.
just bored, because they know the whole cosmos, they've seen it on their phone screen, not even on the computer screen. On the phone screen, they've seen entire cosmos, they know everything. Things that you do not know, they know, you ask them, they know it.
Yes.
By information. By the time they're 18, they have had 5 love affairs and gone. In the Western world, it's like that, here also it's beginning to happen. So by the time they're 18, they've seen everything that you need to see with body, mind, emotion. By the time they're 25, what next? You will see, this is not my wish, but this is something that I see, the way people's minds are working, the way they're being laden with information. I'm not by any standards a pessimistic person, but I'm just seeing this. If this level of information continues and it'll multiply manifold for the coming generations, you should not be surprised in the next 50 to 100 years, if 50% of the human population choose to commit suicide, you should not be surprised. This day, more people commit suicide in this world than all the wars and murders and accidents manage to kill. So more people are on self-help already than murderers, warmongers, bad drivers, everything put together. And if this level of information onslaught continues on human mind, I know the nature of mind absolutely, because I know my mind. I know how it works, what it can handle, what it cannot do. I know it clearly what human mind is. That's the reason why I don't have to read people's books or listen to their entire thing. If they say one sentence, I know what their mind is, because I know the structure of human mind entirely, otherwise I won't be who I am. So I'm saying this, if this level of information onslaught continues at the same pace or at higher pace, which is possible in the next few years, this will definitely lead to wanting to terminate yourself because there will be nothing to live for. There is no joy and excitement about anything. You please watch your children. By the time they're 12, 15, they're just bored. You look back at your own life. Those of you who are over 50 years of age, just look back on your own life. When you were 12, 15, was there any room for you to get bored about anything? Simply you were excited about every little thing, isn't it? Today you will see it's almost a common feature. 12, 15-year-old kids are just bored. We are talking about love and life, all this will not mean nothing. Because you had one love affair when you were 18 years of age, you thought this is your life and you're going to willing to die for it, whether you died for it or not, but at least at that time you thought you'll die for it. Today on Facebook they have 22 love affairs going simultaneously, just means nothing. I'm not saying they should have it or not have it, all I'm saying is, this will lead to a certain overload on the mind, and suddenly a human being will think, why am I here? You know that big Shakespearean question, to be or not to be, this is not the most intelligent question. Unfortunately, people think so. This is only because you have not been touched by life. You are not a piece of life, you are just a psychological case. You are full of thoughts and emotions, you have not touched life at all. You think your thoughts and emotions are life? No. Your thoughts and emotions are the drama that you're creating in your mind, it is your cinema. You must be able to end it somewhere. If you do not know how to put the end, then it's going on endless cinema, you're going crazy. Life is happening here. You know, your work is not life, your family is not life, your career is not life, your cinema is not life, your thought is not life, your emotion is not life. Life is happening here. Everything else is accessories to life. Now, the frills of life have become larger than life itself. Life is entirely missed. If you touch life within you, then it's an explosion of energy. When such a thing never happens to you, because you have information about the whole cosmos on your phone screen, you will never be touched by life because too much information, too much thought. Even emotion is drying up, too much thought. This has happened. If you look at European philosophy in the last 150 years, you will see, if you read Dostoevsky, you will want to commit suicide. Brilliant, intellectually brilliant, but you will wonder why are you alive? Because intellect is like that. If you wake up in the morning, devoid of touching any life's experience within you, don't think about your child's face, do not think about the flowers in the garden, birds in the sky, nothing beautiful that ever touched you. Just think logically. You have to get out of bed, that's not a small feat. You have to brush your teeth, breakfast, go to work, eat, sleep, again tomorrow morning same thing. Next 50 years you have to do the same process every day. If you look at it 100% logically and intellectually, you will have no reason to live tomorrow morning. It's only if you're touched by something, suddenly it's worth living. If you're not touched by anything, then it's not worth living. What is so worth living about a human being? Waking up in the morning, trudging through life every day, eating, sleeping, same rubbish, what is the point? There is no point. Unless you're touched by something, some magic of life, if it doesn't touch you, either in the form of love, or in the form of a flower, or in the form of something within you, if something doesn't sparkle within you, definitely there is a question whether I should live or not, isn't it? And we are taking humanity in that direction with this overload of information. Information is not knowing, information is just garbage collection. You just gather things which don't mean anything to you. You look smart in a tea party, but you're not smart with life. If you're really smart with life, you must be joyful and blissful, isn't it so? You're only smart in a tea party because, when somebody is talking something, the Galaxy Z22, what happens there? Everybody, wow! They can also open the internet and the same thing. You think this guy visited the galaxy?